Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Maurice Brown Comedy Show, brought to you by check that out, kchftv.org out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and MAGNOS Dentistry out of Belo Horizonte, Brazil, a new sponsor for the Maurice Brown Show. This is the NFL edition, and we're going to bring out former college football standout to the show, Aaron Moore. Too Tall, what's going on, buddy?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. We had a great weekend in the NFL, some real shockers. It's great to have you back on the show. It's been a real minute. How's life been treating you, Too Tall?
Not too bad. Real busy, but that's not a bad thing.
No, never a bad thing to be busy. Never a bad thing to be busy. We also have hip hop artist Antoine Real Stewart coming to the show a little bit later on. He's pretty excited. His 49ers are winning nowadays, so I'm sure that he's going to have quite a bit to say. We had some exciting games in the NFL this past weekend, Too Tall. I'll tell you that. And we're going to start out with the notable games of the week. Your team's on those notable games, but I'm gonna start out with my team. The Carolina Panthers go into Lambeau Field and beat the Green Bay Packers. Many were touting them as a Super Bowl lock not more than 3 weeks ago. They're sitting at 5-2-1, and it's a good record. I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world, but you know, the losses on the resume, the Cleveland Browns, one of the worst teams in the league. The Panthers, believe it or not, are not as bad as people think they are. I think they're better, but you cannot allow them to go into Lambeau and win when people are saying you're going to the Super Bowl. Your thoughts on this shocking finish?
Yeah, it was very shocking. But like you said, Panthers are not as bad as people thought they were, but still, there's no way they should Kenny Lambeau and won that game. Green Bay needs to beat the team they're supposed to beat. And I think that's one of their flaws right now. And I think they have the reason it's getting to a point where you get concerned is because you can't turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's especially in this league. So they have to find a way where they've tuned in every week and win the games they're supposed to win, and also be that dominant team that they're supposed to be. You know, so and to tell you the truth, Aaron Love needs to play better. I mean he needs to play better. And the defense is playing well. You know, I think the defense is playing fine, but I think it comes down to Aaron's shoulders. I think the team is going to go where he takes them, and that's my opinion. And if he's not playing well, then I don't think they're going to go very far.
No, and the thing about it is Jordan Love. Here's a couple of things. Should Matt LaFleur be fired? Number one.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, because here's the reason I asked. I'm a Packer fan, and I can tell you I'm getting tired of Matt LaFleur. And we've got too much talent to be going out there and losing the games that we are losing and playing the way that we've been playing. And it'll go all the way back to Aaron Rodgers. You know, I always have said that's why he left Green Bay, because he just got tired of LaFleur. You know, and penalties, mistakes. You got probably, arguably, the best talent in the league, if not one of the best most talented teams in the NFL. And to lose games you have no business losing, to struggle with teams you have no business struggling with, after you just kind of pimp slap the Lions and the Commanders.
So you said one thing. They are one of the most talented teams, but they also one of the youngest teams. And it shows. So
Yes.
you got to keep that into consideration too. That they're talented, but they're young. So and it shows. Now, would that give them over the hump? I don't know, because you can't make mistakes like that and play how they've been playing in the playoffs and expect to go to the promised land.
Yeah, you can't, and I'm tired of Matt LaFleur, and I think a lot of Packer fans are getting tired of LaFleur. There's a lot of football left. I think hitting the panic button is a mistake
Mm-mm.
at 5-2-1, and that would be a bad knee jerk reaction. I just got to calm down. Um, um, let's look at the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Colts. I don't think anyone saw this one coming. 27-20, the final there. And as we speak on that, we're going to welcome into the show, the studio, hip hop artist Antoine Real Stewart. What's up, Stu?
What's going on, fellas?
Everything is good. We're kind of breaking down what happened. The games that were shocking, most shocking this past weekend. By the way, the Maurice Brown Show is being brought to you by MAGNOS Dentistry out of Belo Horizonte, Brazil. Americans travel abroad to get better health care at much lower prices. MAGNOS Dentistry sponsoring the Maurice Brown Show. Now, the Steelers over the Colts, 27-20. Nobody saw that one coming. The New York Giants' Daniel Jones showed up this time. Stu, what are your thoughts on this one? I mean, 5 turnovers, and you still came within a touchdown of catching up. What are your thoughts on that one?
You said the New York Giants?
Yeah, that's who Daniel Jones looked like he was still playing for.
Yeah, man. Hold on, we talking about the Giants, right? That's what messed me up. I was like, hold up, that's not their quarterback.
No, but it's just kind of like a dumb joke, just because of how badly Daniel Jones played. He had two fumbles and 3 picks. Yeah. Okay. Woo. And this is why the Colts lost. It's not that the Steelers outplayed them. Daniel Jones gave the game away. So as I say that, do we believe in Pittsburgh, or was this just one of those games where Indy just had a misstep?
We talked about this last week, and I was saying I was going to be watching this Pittsburgh game to really see where the Colts were at, because if you looked at the Colts schedule, they weren't really playing no real hard teams like that. You know, if you're in certain divisions, you got to face, better, steeper competition on a day in, day out, week to week basis. And they haven't really played a lot of these teams to really see where they're at. And I was like, this was kind of like a measuring stick, so I could see, is this Colts team for real? They're not a bad team. They're a good team, but how good are they? And I think they really showed us this week that they are who we thought they were. They're not bad, but they're not no world beaters either. They just had a weak schedule. That's what's making them look so good. So I think that they have a pretty decent squad, but I'm not looking forward or looking to them making any noise in the postseason or anything like that. I think they'll have a decent regular season until they run against those real teams who are not going for it.
Aaron, what are your thoughts on the Steelers and the Colts? I mean, Aaron Rodgers is actually playing pretty good football, even though, there's been some games that they've lost that you go kind of scratch your head a little bit. But what do you think about this? Do we believe in Pittsburgh?
I always believed in Pittsburgh. I always believed when they got Rodgers not asked to do much. Control the ball, don't turn the ball over. Make plays when plays need to be made, and that's what he's doing. The defense is playing decent, So, I always knew that Pittsburgh was going to be in the mix, and to tell you the truth, they got a chance to win the division.
Yeah,
it's right there in front of them. They have a great chance in doing it. So I'm not surprised the way they playing, and it's just keeping Aaron healthy. If that defense can get, better, I think they decent, but they still need some improvement. But I think they can win the division and have a run in the playoffs.
So, one of the other shocking games of the past weekend was Minnesota and the Lions. 27-24. J.J. McCarthy comes back. People had kind of written him off. Stu, did J.J. disprove his doubters?
I like him, man. I think he has a lot of potential. You definitely could see the difference when he stepped in there from the weeks when he was hurt. You could see that he has better feel for the game. He has a better feel for his receivers, his players, the play calling. You could see that they're all kind of in sync, that they all got something going there. And you could see when he wasn't in there that they were kind of like trying to find that rhythm. But I like him. Like a lot of these guys, their first season, we've seen a lot of success with a lot of quarterbacks like Jaden Daniels, like what's going on in Houston, his rookie year. A lot of these guys are finding their first season having some success. The biggest thing sustaining that success the sophomore year, but everything I'm seeing from him right now, I'm liking. Of course, if they keep on the trajectory they are on now, we'll get to see what he's really made out of in the postseason when it's a whole different level. But I like what I'm seeing. I think that as long as they keep that core around him, he'll continue to progress and get better.
So we're going to look at a game here. I know you don't want to talk about Aaron, but maybe you're the guy to talk about this. I mean, and I got the score wrong, too. Actually, it's 38-14. Sorry to rub it in even more, Aaron. But the Commanders didn't show up. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to show this. And this ain't me. This is Stu's doing right here.
Hey! Who give up 31 in the first half? We do. Who missed tackles? We do. Who makes Sam Darnold look like Tom Brady? That's us. Think we might have a chance? Not so fast.
Yeah, not so fast, because I can tell you right now, everybody thought the Commanders were Super Bowl. I thought the Commanders were a Super Bowl caliber team, but I got a bigger question. Should Jaden Daniels have even been in the game at the point when he got injured?
Should he been? No. But hindsight 2020, right?
Yeah.
If he goes around the corner, scores a touchdown, nobody's saying anything about this today or this week.
Nothing.
Nobody's saying anything. It was a fluke play. He fell like that 100 times throughout the game. So, I mean, you could say hindsight 2020 should have been in the game or shouldn't he been in the game. I mean, to me, that really doesn't matter to me. I mean, he's a baller. He wanted to, and then we couldn't get nothing going on offense. So he scores 14. He goes in, scores. At least something positive came out that game. So, I mean, I have no problem with him still being in the game. Was we coming back? No. But again, he's a baller. I mean, we had our starting offensive line still in the game. We had some of our defensive line still in the game. We had our other starters in the game.
Right.
It's just because it was Jaden, So, I mean, Dan Quinn, he did the right thing. He came in. He said it was his fault. He should have pulled him. He took ownership of it. But at that time, I don't even think he was really thinking about it, to tell you the truth. The way that game was going, the way the 3 games was going, I think his mindset is, how can we fix this thing? I think that's what his mindset was.
Well, I'm going to agree with you on that. Stu, what are your thoughts? Should Jaden Daniels, do we put this on Dan Quinn that Jaden Daniels is now out for at least maybe another 4 to 6 weeks, maybe for the rest of the year?
I'm going to say yes and no, meaning that 100% not on Dan Quinn, absolutely not. But he does have to take some of the ownership because when you got a Lamborghini and you got a Ferrari, man, you got to take care of your stuff. You're not in a beat up, 1929, 1992 Honda Civic that you just gonna beat up and down the highway. It's kind of like when you're looking at it from a standpoint of he's been banged up, he's playing banged up, the game is out of control. Let's sit him down. We're not going to win this game. It's no point because you know how things. It's the NFL. You know what goes on. You're one play away from a season-ending injury. So at that point, I think it's like, all right, let me protect him from himself, just like we've seen in Washington with different regimes, with RG3 and different things. Like, you got to protect players from themselves. We know Five is a baller. We know he doesn't want to pull himself out the game. He wants to go down with his team in the battlefield. But it comes a point in the time to where it's like, look, Five, I know you don't have to earn nobody's respect. You already got it. Yes. So let's sit you down. I'm going to protect you from yourself because you're too valuable for me to leave you out there knowing let's get married. You know what? Let's get the third string. If he's suited up, let's get him some reps just in case something crazy happens. Let's try some things out. The O-line and stuff, you can't really take certain people out. You only got enough people suited for the game. You got to play certain individuals. But my Ferrari, my Lamborghini, I'm going to go ahead and park that baby. We'll put that cover on him. Say, I'm going to tuck you in, good night, and you done for the rest of the game because I don't want the what if factor to happen. So, like I said, not 100% on Dan Quinn. It's football. Like Aaron said, these type of things happen. But sometimes we have to protect the stars from themselves and go ahead and sit them down. Unless you had your fantasy thing going on. He's like, let me get one more touchdown on this. I had 5 on my fantasy team. Like, nah, just go ahead and sit him.
I remember in 1994, Steve Young was pulled out of a game. It was kind of late. They were down 33-8. The Eagles, the Buddy Ryan Eagles, they were putting a hurting on San Francisco in Frisco. And the coach at the time, oh my gosh, I can't even call the coach. It wasn't Bill Walsh. His successor, I can't think of his name. He actually won a Super Bowl with them that year. But he pulled him. Steve Young went completely off. There's no way to win a game. And it actually changed the season for the 49ers because his teammates actually realized he cared. What I'm saying is we can't blame Dan Quinn because at the end of the day, football is a violent game. On any play, your career can be over. On any play, every play, you potentially. And so it's football. And Jaden did. Of course, Jaden wanted to play. You don't quit fighting. I don't care. I mean, I don't think Jaden would have appreciated Quinn if he had pulled him. So I think people are blaming Quinn wrongly. It's football, man. Play.
I will say this to kind of back Dan Quinn.
Okay.
When Jaden wanted to come back before the knee injury, he wanted to come back a week early.
Yeah.
And Dan Quinn said, no, we're just going to take another week just to make sure.
Yeah.
And when he got the quad injury, Jaden at the press was like, I'm 100%. I could go now.
Okay.
And Dan Quinn was like, we're going to wait another week. We're going to make sure that he's 100%, and we're just going to make sure he's okay to go. And he did. He made him waited another week, And basically, if it was a playoff game, he would have played. But it wasn't. So they set him down. So he does look after the players. It's just that situation, prime time. The game was out of hand, and
I do want to add another thing for everybody to think about. Think about it like this: the opposite. The Commanders are up 40-3. It's like 5 minutes left in the game. Do you pull your starter? Do you pull 5, or you let him keep going to the end? And if he gets hurt, it's the same thing. If you up 40-3, usually you're gonna see the backups come in like the joint is over. My night is over. I look at it the same way. I'm down 40-3. Yo, the game is over. It's one thing if it's the NFL. If it's like, man, look, we got 10 minutes, we need 2 scores. Oh yeah, we in there. But if it's like 4 scores and kind of it's just done, then it's like, all right. I know as a competitor how it is. You don't want to get off the field. You want to stay in there with your guys. But the big picture is like, look, we're not winning the game, bro. And the way the offensive line is looking, we're not getting no better. You don't have no help. You and the receivers are not in sync. This is just not good practice. You're basically a practice for their defense to get hits on you. Yeah. And at that point, I gotta pull my guy because I'm seeing him playing hero ball. He's running for his life. He's getting cracked. He's not sliding all the time. I'm like, nah. The game is over. You're gonna have a seat. You're gonna be mad at me. Yeah. But next week you're gonna be playing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.
You're 100% right. Yeah. But you know the funny thing about that as players is I used to say in college, I was like, I hope I'm sitting down with my helmet off by halftime. Because that means we up a lot.
Right.
But if we down a lot, I didn't want to come out the game.
Right.
You know, it's kind of weird, right? You know,
yeah.
It's kind of like if you up, you want everybody to get in. Like you want everybody to make a play. You want everybody. You want the whole team. You want the third string to get in there. You know, throw it to him. You know, that's what you want. You know, but if you down, you like, man, I want to make a play. You know, we down, we getting blown out. I just want to make a play. You know, you don't want to come out. It's kind of weird, you know, but at least that's how it was.
Okay, well, I want to. It's debatable. Like I said, I mean, if hindsight were 2020, I mean, it would be. We don't know what would have. That's something we don't know what's going to happen. I don't like people blaming Dan Quinn. You know, I mean, while I was in the game was over. But I mean, we're playing football, and when you're losing, you want to keep playing. You can't. But when you're winning, it's like, oh yeah, man, I can take my helmet off. I can chill. Yeah, you want to come out and have some Gatorade and you know start joning and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I get that. So let's switch gears now, though. I want to look at the NFL headlines, and you know, Stu, I'm gonna throw this one over to you because this is in your neighborhood. Is the NFC West the best division in football?
Absolutely. I mean, you gotta think of it like this: men lie, women lie, numbers don't. I mean, you got 3 teams. You got 2 6-2 teams. 49ers are what? 5-3.
6-3. I think they're 6-3.
6-3. I'm sorry, 6-3. So, I mean, we got 3 teams that are like got unbelievable records this early. You always had that one team like the Arizona Cardinals. They can't get right. You know, you put a Band-Aid on them, sit them down, get them a Slurpee and applesauce.
Yeah. But right.
Yeah, I think the numbers speak for itself. I mean, if you see the Rams on your schedule, if you see the Seahawks on your schedule, see the 49ers on your schedule, you know it's about to be an ice bag game. You know what type of time it's about to be. So I think arguably people can argue other divisions, but I think as far as from a schematic point and a number point, I think that the 40 and we don't have easy schedules. We've been playing some teams. So I think with that, and I think that the West Coast the NFC West is the best right now. You know, that can change throughout the year, but I think as of right now, we have the toughest division.
I think that when you look around the league, I think there's just about no question. I mean, NFC North, you could chirp a little bit about them, but Aaron, I'll ask you, is the NFC West the best division in football in your mind?
Right now, I would say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say yes. The NFC North. Record-wise, yes. Overall, I don't know. I would have the AFC kind of stacked too, but record-wise, you can't deny record, or you can't deny how teams are playing. So record-wise, I would say I would agree with that. Yes.
You could throw the AFC West in that conversation. I mean, they've got some dogs in that division. And to Stu's point, there's always a dog in there somewhere, which is the Raiders. But if you look at the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Chiefs, they're all big dogs. I mean, you can argue the NFC North with Green Bay and the Lions. The Bears, believe it or not, as ugly and as goofy as they look, they got a 5-3 record. And J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings are unpredictable. So you can kind of throw them out there too. But I think if you look at the NFC West right now, you don't want to mess with Seattle. All you got to do is ask your boys. I'm just kidding, Aaron. But I'm just saying, look at the Seahawks. They're pounding people. Okay. Look at the Rams. You get, just like Stu said, you see the Rams and you schedule and you're like, hey, yo, we need to, buck up for this one. And then the 49ers are the 49ers, and there they are at 6-3, and they don't have everybody. Somehow Kyle Shanahan is making it work. So I will say this about the Cardinals. Their record doesn't reflect how good to me they've played. Like the Cardinals have been in every game, and they've lost 2 that they should not have lost just because of just stupid decisions or whatever it was, the Cardinals being the Cardinals. But you get them on your schedule, I think you might want to buck up if the Cardinals are on your schedule. So I look at NFC West and go, yeah, this is, and as I talk about the Cardinals, their head coach just named Jacoby Brissett the starting quarterback again this week. And I'm going to ask you, Stu, is Jacoby a better fit at QB1 than Kyler Murray?
As of right now, he is. Kyler Murray, very talented, but he still hasn't figured it out yet. He had, just like Trevor Lawrence, we see the talent, we see the skills, but he hasn't figured it out yet. The consistency, holding on to the ball too long. Me and Aaron were talking about this earlier, and we were talking about this last week or a few weeks ago on the show when I was talking about Trevor Lawrence and the things that I see when I see the talent, but it's the simple things, it's the basic things. 3-step drop, get the ball out of your hand to your playmakers, let them make plays in space, get in rhythm. Coaches not being predictable, schemes, everything, and trusting what you see, knowing who your check down is, stop trying to play hero ball, trying to throw the ball 40, 50 yards down the field. Take what the defense is giving you. If the defense is giving you underneath, you go underneath. And then when they start coming up, then you go over top. This is not rocket science. This is basic football. And he's very athletic. He has the arm talent and everything. I know he has trouble seeing over top of the offensive line. But other than that, he hasn't figured out how to hone in his talent like a Patrick Mahomes. You see what Mahomes does. Mahomes will chuck it underneath, and then he'll hit you over the top. He knows when to run, when to pass, when to slide, when to go out of bounds. He's figured it out. And Kyler Murray hasn't figured it out yet. Jacoby, he's playing more settled football. He's taking what the defense is giving him. He's hitting his players in stride. He's seeing the field, seeing the open people. So right now he's playing better quarterback. And as you see, the team seems to be responding and playing better with him under the helm. So I think it's one of those things where I don't think Kyler Murray is going to be a forever Cardinal. I think when his contract is up, or they might find a trade maybe the following year or something like that. But they got to figure it out because you're paying this guy too much money to put on this lackadaisical performance year in and year out. So right now, I think it's Jacoby's job right now.
Aaron, too tall more. What do you think about Jacoby taking Kyler's spot?
No.
Yeah.
Jacoby's good for a couple games. He'll give you a little stretch, you know. He'll give you a good stretch for 4 games, 5 games, or something like that. But he's not a starter. He's been a backup his whole career for a reason.
Yeah.
He did start, I think, 1 or 2 years in Indianapolis, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's because they didn't have nobody. They didn't have nobody else. So they went with, you know, Jacoby. He's a viable backup. He comes in and he does what he does like he does in that like he did in Dallas. But the NFL is a outlier sometimes. It plays mind tricks with you. She could play mind tricks with you all the time. And I see it all the time. You think this person's not good, and all of a sudden, look at it. You think this person is real good, and all of a sudden, they not. Kyler Murray is the best quarterback on that team. And then I say, so you get rid of him. Then who your quarterback? So, I mean, he's the best option. He's the best player. He's a playmaker. Does he has a lot of? Now I do agree with Stu on this. He has a lot that he needs to work on. You know, he's the quarterback of an NFL franchise. Like it's more than just being an athlete, or you know, you're supposed to be the leader of the team. So it's some things that he need to work on. Hearing some rumblings in Cardinal territory, he needs to be more steward of the game, I would say. Yes, but this a better football player. It's Kyler Murray. I mean, I think we all know that. You give Brissett a couple games. I will say this: Kyler Murray would be at QB quarterback position before the end of the season.
I think the biggest mistake that I forget the head coach's name for the Cardinals, Stu, you might, if you recall it, please let me know. But the guy, he came out today and said Jacoby not only will start this week, if Kyler were healthy, he'd still be my starter. You don't say that out loud for your guy to hear. And I mean, even if you believe that, you don't say that. You're paying this man a lot of money. So if I were the owner, I'd fire him anyway.
Yeah, but I don't think that's I don't think it's a field thing. I don't think it's because we all know Kyler Murray is a better quarterback. I mean, he's a better athlete. So
can I give Aaron some pushback real quick?
But let me finish. But I think it's just a personality thing. Like when you say something like that, it's something going in the room. Y'all got into it. It's something going in the room, and now you and your feelings. Because as a coach, you don't say that. You and your feelings as a coach.
Can I add this real quick?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So I gotta give Aaron some pushback. Yeah. I like the analogy, right, that you use. It would be good if we're talking about San Francisco, Brock Purdy situation, right? Yeah. Because now we have a quarterback that's hurt, or let's say he's not playing, but we've seen this guy win in the postseason, take you to a Super Bowl, go to NFC Championship games. We've seen what you can do. So you are the guy, right? We haven't seen Kyler do that. The truth is, we haven't seen Arizona be consistent with Kyler Murray at the quarterback. And Kyler Murray is not a rookie anymore. He's been in the league for some time now, right? And I'm not saying Jacoby is the guy. I'm saying that they reached a point to where we're off the Kyler Murray train and we're going to figure it out, because you had the Sam Donalds, you have the Baker Mayfields of the league, to where on their second or third try, we've seen them develop. And I'll go back to what Drew Brees said. Drew Brees said they don't develop quarterbacks in this league anymore. He said it takes 3 years to really, I'm talking about starting, 3 years starting to really get in the feel of really what this whole thing is about, right? We've seen what happened in Buffalo. His third year, he went off. His first 2 years, he was some trash, right? And it's so much that goes into it, as you guys know, being in a good organization, having good coordinators, having good scheme fits, having talent around you to where, you know, when you play for a Cleveland Brown or you play for New York Jets, we know that, you know, those are quarterback killers to where you go somewhere else. If you go to Pittsburgh, if you can go to a team to where you at least have a good organization, a good foundation around you, you can be put in the best situation to succeed, as we've seen the Sam Donalds and Bakers. I'm not saying Jacoby is going to be the guy there, but I think that he's playing better football right now than what Calamari has been playing. And I also think that Calamari has been playing this same style of football for years. I watch him every year. He'll make some splash plays, but then he'll make some stupid plays. He's never consistent enough to show me why he's making the type of money that he's making. You know, and we've seen the same thing with quite a few quarterbacks from the Trevor Lawrences and stuff like that, to where is this privilege coming from? At some point in time, we want to pull your card, man. You about to start producing something, or you're going to have to bounce. You know, I think it's getting to that point with Kyler, to where we see the talent, but it's not transitioning into wins. You're not winning consistently. We're not making the postseason and competing. It's just like he's talented and he's fast, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? We need to see more from Calamari if we're going to keep paying him the money that he's making. That's why I think the biggest difference between if you are a world beater, cool. You know, we know what we got in Calamari. He's going to win us postseason games. His job is secure. But they don't have that. They just got a talented guy, and he hasn't made that transition yet. And I don't know if he ever will. He may need a change of scenery and come down to the Washington Commanders and sit behind 5 so he can show them how it's done.
Yeah, no doubt. So,
but
go ahead, Aaron.
Kyler Murray has been to the playoffs. I mean,
no, I'm talking about like winning postseason games consistently. Like, how many playoff wins has he had? Like one, maybe.
And I think that's like an outlier in the NFL, because like quarterbacks don't play defense. Like quarterbacks need help too. You know, I seen games where Kyler Murray drove his team down for the winning score, and then all of a sudden his defense gave up a score and they lost the game. Is that Kyler Murray's fault?
I see his playoff record. I just looked it up.
What you got?
He's 0-1 in the postseason. He's been to one postseason game, and he's never won a postseason game. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm like, okay, we got there. Let's win one, at least to build for next year. Like your quarterback, rookie year, he goes to the NFC Championship game. New organization. Can't say he had new offensive coordinator, new head coach, new organization. He goes to one game away from the Super Bowl. That's why the expectations were so high with him going forward. It was like, we know what we got with 5. He's a baller. We just got to put him in the right situation to ball. I don't think, and that's in year 1. They don't know what they got with Kyler, except for talent. They know they got a talented guy, but is he going to be like a better Richardson, who hasn't had the opportunity to develop? But Kyler's been around the league for a long time, and your offensive coordinator was his head coach. So it's like we've seen your offensive coordinator take someone one game away from the Super Bowl, but we haven't as a head coach. So we haven't seen Kyler perform. And I'm not saying deep into the postseason, just one win. Give us one win, dog. Put it on, every time he puts the game on his shoulder. Oh, you see that meme coming out where he 2 feet tall. It's like he was wide open and he couldn't see behind the offensive line.
Yeah, I just think that it's when you're paying. This is a franchise quarterback that you're paying good money for. As a head coach, you can't say that out loud.
No,
you just can't do that. So whether or not it's Jacoby or Kyler, I just thought that was a mistake. And to Aaron's point, Jacoby's he's a backup. He's a career backup who can hold his own back there. He's a great backup. But to just say, well, Kyler, we're going to kick you to the curb. He's young. He's still growing. He's still learning. You alluded to Josh Allen. You know, he's blowing up. And maybe if you just get more pieces, I just think Kyler has way too much talent to be throwing him under the bus at this point. He's still got 3 more years to grow into a really, really good quarterback. But that being said, that was just food for thought. I thought it was
$230 million contract.
He has to play.
5-year, $230 million contract, Kyler Murray.
He has to be on the field. You can't make Jacoby Brissett is a backup that he's made enough money to rub 2 nickels together. I'm just kidding. He's made a lot of money. But what I'm saying is you put $230 million into a young player, you cannot throw him away.
You ship him to Cleveland.
Well, no. Well, that's literally throwing him away. Throw him to Cleveland. I tell you, hey, somebody free Shador. All right, let's switch. Let's look at Sunday's. Let's look at Sunday's marquee matchups. All right, we got the Ravens with Lamar Jackson back in the fray against the Vikings at 1:00 on Fox on Sunday. Now, Baltimore looks like they're getting back to where they need to be. If they win these next 3 games, they're back in the hunt. They're right back in it. What do you think about this and the upstart? Because J.J. McCarthy and the Viking, this is going to be in Minnesota. A very watchable game. What are your thoughts on this one, Stu?
So Baltimore and who they playing?
The Vikings.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, it's a good matchup.
That's going to be a real good game. Like you said, I think that Lamar Jackson is showing you why he be winning these MVPs, because without him, the Ravens they look horrendous. They look atrocious. They're just horrible. When he steps in, it's just like something clicks and everything is different. Guys feel like they're motivated to play or something. He definitely is the heartbeat of that team. I think this is going to be a tough game. The Vikings are feeling themselves. And with that quarterback, that young rookie playing, you know, he's a rookie, right?
Yeah, well, he's a redshirt rookie. I mean, he's a second-year player.
He got hurt last year.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, so, you know, with them playing, they're not going to lay down. They're not going to go in there. They're not going to lay down. It's in Minnesota. The Ravens got to come to their home, and they're going to bring it. And then we get to see why Lamar Jackson arguably is the MVP of the year every year, of the league every year, and get to see him galvanize his team to win a road game, you know, to get back in the postseason talk, to get back in the winning conversation. So I look forward to watching this matchup.
You know, one of the things I don't like about this situation with Lamar, now you bring Cooper Rush in there for like 2, I think he played 2 games, and they got boat raced. And maybe 3 games, I don't know what it was. And then you bring my main man in, who was the backup? What's the backup's name that came in last week and beat the Bears? What's the backup's name? I can't think of the young buck's name. He's a young black kid, been in the league. He's a journeyman, but he's got feet. He can run. He can make things happen. And they beat the Bears 30-16 in Baltimore. Now, when Lamar saw that, all of a sudden he got healthy again. Started feeling good.
Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley. He balled out. And Lamar's like, I better get back out there. Because if Tyler keep doing that, they might think they don't need me no more. See, and now he goes out there. And so I look at Lamar, as soon as he saw the pressure, he's healthy all of a sudden and whatnot. But whatever, that's kind of an aside. Lamar's back. He's looking like Lamar. What do you think about this matchup, Aaron?
I have 2 problems with this matchup. 1, I don't trust J.J. McCarthy.
Okay.
And 2,
even though they beat the Lions in Detroit,
I still don't believe in JJ.
Okay.
Because I know what I saw before. And to tell you the truth, I don't believe he was 100% hurt. That's another conversation, though. I think they set him out to
go with Carson Wentz.
Just watch a little bit. Let's watch for a couple weeks. I think they used his little ankle twist or whatever it was as a little scapegoat to let him sit for a couple weeks and just watch. Because he was stinging it up. And
I'm still stinging it up.
But I don't necessarily trust JJ, but I don't trust Baltimore's defense. They haven't been the Baltimore defense we know.
No.
So one of them got to give. I do like the energy they had last game with Lamar coming back. Now, if they can get out to a good lead and get JJ uncomfortable, then I like the Ravens, you know. Yeah. But if they let JJ start to get a little confidence, you know, throwing to his guy, then it may be a I still think it's going to be a close game, but the Vikings may pull it out if that happened. But I'm gonna put this on the Ravens defense. Ravens defense got to come out and show something. Show something this week.
Well, you know, they got healthy playing the Dolphins. Okay. Okay, you know, Eastern High School can get healthy playing Miami. So yeah, I don't know how much I believe in that win, that beat down that Baltimore put on them. I mean, the Vikings have talent. It's not just about JJ McCarthy. I mean, the Vikings are talented. They just need a guy that can go out there and not make too many mistakes, and they're going to be in the ball game. And so I agree with you about Baltimore. I think the jury's out on them. I'm not sold on them, but I think they can go in here and win this game because I think, to Stu's point, I'm not really sold on JJ McCarthy yet. I haven't seen enough evidence that this guy is the guy for them, particularly in a playoff type game like this. Like, you know, Baltimore is going to bring their offense. You best believe they're going to put some pressure on McCarthy. And I'm not convinced that he's got that ability to just be resilient enough to win game after game like he did against Detroit, although a quality win. The other matchup, we got the upstart. Go ahead, Stu.
I was going to say, looking at the stat real quick, the Detroit game, you know, McCarthy was 14 for 25, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. If you gave me that stat line without telling me the ending score, I would say they lose the game. It's not great. He's not a world beater. But they're winning, right? You know, and you know, so that's one of the things. Sometimes certain guys, the defense gets up for it. It's something about him being in the lineup. The team just seems like it works better. But he has a lot to improve on to get to the point to where we can start looking at him like he's putting this game on his shoulders. He's not there yet.
The final score, and I'm going to say this, the final score doesn't always tell the tale of the tape. And there are a lot of I think this is a season where we're seeing very good teams have some bad breaks and play some games that you would call bad. Like Eagles have played some bad games this year, yet we believe in them. The Chiefs have played several bad games this year, but we believe in them. My boys have played some really crappy games this year, but I think we still kind of believe in the Packers. They're sitting at 5-2-1. Every reason to believe in them. The Lions have had some bad games this year, but we still believe in them. So who's really that big dog in the NFL right now this year? I don't know. That's why I keep looking at the NFC West. I'm looking at the Seahawks. I'm looking at the Rams. But then again, I think the Rams have had some questionable games. The 49ers have had some questionable games. Plus, they're injured. And even though the Seahawks are sitting there at 7-2, and they pimp slapped some people this year, I ain't gonna lie. I keep looking at Sam Darnold. I'm like, he can't keep this up. But he is. You know, and so you go, man, well, who is – we thought the Chargers were a lock for the Super Bowl 3 weeks ago. So all of the teams that we expect to dominate aren't necessarily doing that this year. So going back to McCarthy and the Vikings beating the Lions, it's like the Lions did some stupid stuff. You know, they made some dumb, mindless mistakes in that game. They let the Vikings hang around, and the Vikings won the ball game. Just that stat line you just read off by McCarthy sucks. I mean, it just does. It's putrid. And yet they won the ball game in Detroit. It's a weird year. I'm just saying, this is a weird year in the NFL. Who really is that team that you can hang your hat on for real? Think about it. I don't think there's a team right now that you can.
It's nobody.
Yeah, it's nobody really. And so it makes the year interesting because anything can happen on literally any given Sunday this season. You're like, man, I don't know what's going to happen this week. You know, and it makes you want to watch these games. I think Pete Rozelle back in the 80s, his dream was parity. And there's a lot of parity in the NFL right now. I mean, man, you look at Tampa Bay, man, the Bucks, I don't care who you are. If you don't strap your chin strap, the Bucks will go in there and beat you in your crib. Baker Mayfield, a whole bunch of them, will come into your crib and they will rearrange your furniture if you don't get ready to play some football. So I'm just saying, you look at all these teams, man, I'm like, you don't really know who you can trust. I'll give you another team as I talk about that, and that's New England. The Patriots are sitting there at 7-2. Do we really believe for real in Drake May? I give the microphone to you, Stu.
He has to prove that. And how in my book, you prove that in the postseason. That's when it's for real. That's when it's win and go home. You know, we get to really see what you're made out of. This is a whole nother level. You see what you're made out of when everything's on the line, you know. Yeah. And I think we have yet to see that from him. And I'm curious to see, because I do believe they will make the postseason. So I'm curious to see how he steps up when everything's on the line, when you're facing the Buffalo Bills, you're facing the Kansas City Chiefs. It's postseason. What are you going to do? How are you going to show up? You know, we get to really see what he's made out of. But as of right now, he's having a great regular season. You know, they're winning games. However they got to win it. Their defense is playing. They're playing great complementary football. You know, nothing bad to say about him right now. He hasn't come off as a world beater or anything like that. He's just not losing the game. He's making plays. Defense is playing well, special teams and everything else. So I think we'll see that as the season progresses, especially once it gets cold. And we're in November now, the December month. In December and January, we really see what you're made out of. So I look forward to seeing how he continues that transition into the postseason.
Now, I'm just looking at, you know, Drake May at 7-2. He throws a great long ball. I mean, he throws a great deep ball. And, you know, I'm for whatever reason, I'm looking at Patriots and I'm just not convinced that they're, you know, that team. But at 7-2, you cannot argue with that. They're going to go into Tampa Bay on Sunday at 1:00 on CBS. And I mean, you look at the Bucks, man. I mean, they just keep hanging around. I think they're sitting at 6-3 as well. I want to say they're 6-3. They might be 5-3. I'm not sure, but that is going to be one of the better games Sunday, as well as the Rams and 49ers, which, I mean, this is like an old school Rams 49ers game right here from the 90s. Aaron, I know I'm going to give you a shot, Stu. I know you got a lot to say about this. But, Aaron, what do you think about this matchup, the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers?
Man, this is going to be a toss-up. I mean, it's always a toss-up every time they play. I think it's going to be a close game. Of course, I think it's going to come down to the defense and quarterback play on who wins this game. But I mean, you really can't. To me, I can't pick that game.
Okay,
You don't know because they're so close in each other. I probably would get a 49ers the edge because they're at home. But other than that, it's gonna be a great game. But again, when games like this, I look at quarterback and I look at the defense, and whoever play better is gonna win this game.
Well, the kid from the Lion King, Puka Nakua, is going to be there, and he makes a big difference when he's on the field for them and for Matt Stafford, and he's back, he's healthy, but it's something about the Rams that tells me they're beatable. There's something about the 49ers that tells me that I'm with you. I cannot call this game. I cannot. I give the floor to you. This is your team. Talk to me about your 49ers, Stu.
So it's one of those things, like, as you mentioned, it's division game, right? You got two good teams. The 49ers have beat the Rams and the Seahawks this year. They're undefeated in their division, right? Okay. So do we bring out the broom, or are the Rams going to get a win? It's one of those things where it could go either way, if I'm being honest. The Rams have a great quarterback. They have a great coach, Sean McVay, great talent around him. Puka, he's not 100%, but you're playing the 49ers. Our whole team is injured, even the ones that's playing. So it's one of those things to where it goes down to turnovers, who can take care of the football, and it goes down to that those last second drives where can the defense get a stop or can the offense make a big play? Who's going to win the game in the trenches? That's what really matters in this game. The offensive line, defensive line, that's where this game is won. Can they stop Christian McCaffrey? Are we able to put pressure on Matthew Stafford with the 49ers being banged up? These are the big things that's going to come into play, and it's going to be a great, great game. But I'm bringing the broom out because we about to sweep them jokers.
Well, we will see what happens. This game is going to be at 1 o'clock. I'm sorry. This game's going to be at 4:25. The Rams and 49ers on Fox on Sunday. You watch the Maurice Brown NFL edition show brought to you by MAGNOS Dentistry out of Belo Horizonte, Brazil. Now, the other matchup that we have, which is, I think, a marquee matchup, 8:20 p.m. on NBC Sunday night and Peacock, the Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. A very good matchup. I look at Pittsburgh and I go, and Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going, because Aaron Rodgers is playing good football this year. And I'm looking at the Steelers, and I'm going, okay, they could go into LA and win this game. And the Chargers, they're a head scratcher. I think they're 6-3. They're an ugly 6-3, though. Aaron, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
I like the Steelers in this one.
Okay.
I think the Steelers go in and take this one. I think the Steelers are just playing better ball than the Chargers. I like Aaron Rodgers against that defense, and I just think I think Pittsburgh defense is going to show up. I think Pittsburgh defense is going to show up and get some pressure on my guy to make some mistakes. But I just like the way Pittsburgh playing right now. Nobody gave them much love during the beginning of the season. So they going in, week out. Aaron Rodgers is steady. He's just steady, right, driving a bus, and they playing good ball. And I really don't got I don't got real faith in the Steelers. I mean, Washington went in there and beat them. So,
yeah. I mean, they did. I mean, yeah.
So, I mean, they really don't have no home field advantage. I mean, I just think that that right now, they, like you said, their record is not what they are. So, even though your record says what you are, but it's an outlier.
I think so. I would have to agree with you. It's an outlier.
Yeah, so I think Steelers going in and get this win.
Now, I will say this, and I'm gonna flip it over to you, Stu. But I will say this: we're gonna go a little bit longer on the Maurice Brown show. That's this particular show. Also seen on kchftv.org. I will say this about Pittsburgh. I'm not sold. And I think Aaron Rodgers is carrying them. But their defense, man, and I look at the win over the Colts. Nobody saw this coming, but we forgot that Daniel Jones is the quarterback. And we know that he can grab that Dr. Jekyll hat at any point in time, and stink up the joint. I mean, he had personally 5 turnovers in that game. It wasn't anything the Steelers did that great on defense. Daniel just said, "Here's the game."
But you know what Steelers did though?
Yeah,
they made him uncomfortable. And if you make him uncomfortable, if you go look at the previous games of Danny Dimes, he was just sitting back there with no pressure.
But I gotta say this, and I'm gonna say, let me throw this out too, and I don't want to demean Sam Darnold. But if you put pressure, and we saw this in the playoffs last year, when you put pressure on a quarterback, you find out what they're all about.
Mm-hmm.
When you can stand in the face of pressure and find a way to get it done, that's when you're elite. Josh Allen can do that. Patrick Mahomes can do that. Okay, Matt Stafford can do that. Some of your top quarterbacks who can really make it happen can deal with that kind of stuff. Now, a bum masquerading as an elite quarterback is revealed under pressure. That's when a bum is. That's when a bum is revealed, and that's what Daniel Jones is. And I'm being a little facetious. He's a decent quarterback. He ain't no Danny Dimes though. Let's just stop with that. He's surrounded by a ton of talent.
He does have a lot of talent.
Jonathan Taylor is carrying that team. Let's just be 100 about this. It's Jonathan Taylor. But even Jonathan Taylor can't overcome a bum game like that. So the Steelers benefited from it. I'm not saying the Steelers aren't good, but I'm not yet sold on them. But I'm not sold on the Chargers either. So this is a game I can't call. Stu, your thoughts?
I got the Chargers.
Okay.
I'm not sold on either team either.
Yeah.
But as I look at the games that they've won and lost, Pittsburgh has a big problem on that defensive side of the ball.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Even in this game, Danny Dimes almost put 400 yards on him. He put 342 yards on him. Yes, he did throw 3 interceptions, and he had a touchdown pass, but he almost put 400 yards on him. We saw exactly. Old man Flacco. We saw what old man Flacco did when they beat Pittsburgh this year. Just threw up and down. And the Chargers got a decent offense. And I think that they're going to be able to expose some things in this game. And they're looking at that Steeler defense. This is not the steel curtain. This is not the normal Steeler defense we're accustomed to seeing. On paper, they look great, but they haven't been playing their best. So I believe that at home, even though, like Aaron says, not that much of a home advantage, because their fan base is in San Diego, but it's not too far. Still California. But I think that the Chargers got a lot of things to take advantage of, and if they can get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, I believe that they'll be able to do enough to win this ball game. Because Aaron, he's been playing decent, but he hasn't been playing he's been playing like a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers. It's not the worst, but it's not the Aaron Rodgers we're used to seeing. He has some talent around him. So you got the DKs and you got some receivers you can get the ball to. He's still a good quarterback, but this is not prime Aaron Rodgers. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers might be in trouble.
Well, Joe Montana couldn't win on this team. Look, let me just say this to you, man. This is not Aaron Rodgers' fault. I think he's playing very good this year. He didn't have any defense. The guys played well. The Steelers offensively have played well enough to be undefeated. Mm-hmm. They played well enough to be, but when you don't have any defense, I mean, the Dallas Cowboys have played well enough offensively to be 6-1, 7-1. They played well enough offensively, but they don't have any defense. So I can't put it on Dak Prescott as I talk about the Cowboys, who are really completely irrelevant. I don't even know why I mentioned him. But if I go back to Aaron, I go, yeah, it's not his fault. They can't stop anybody. I know they're not the steel curtain. You know, Mean Joe Green is not walking through that door. And if he did, he'd be in a wheelchair. So, so they can't stop anybody. Anyway, that being said, Aaron's my boy. I got to defend him a little bit. He's balling. He doesn't have any help. But this is going to be a good matchup. Sunday night, definitely a good game to watch. This is going to be a good game because Justin Herbert, I think, will take advantage of this weak defense. And I think he's going to have a really good game. And Aaron's going to have, I think, a really good game. I just don't think he'll be able to put up enough points in this one. And I think, Stu, I'm going to agree with you on this one. I think the Chargers will probably win this game. Now, I want to switch gears to Monday Night Football and talk about my boys. And at 8:15 on Monday night, this could be arguably the game of the week. At least 2 weeks ago, it was the game of the week. It's certainly up there, even still, with Packers 5-2-1, Eagles 6-2 at Lambeau Field Monday night. I mean, you can't ask for a better glitz show, at least. But I'm gonna throw it to you first, Stu, and I'm gonna lead off with Matt LaFleur. And I mentioned this to Too Tall earlier in this show. Should he be fired? Because you look at the Packers and it's like, what are y'all doing out there? Okay, you know, they got some head scratchers. You tie the Dallas Cowboys. You lose to the Cleveland Browns. You lose to the Carolina Panthers at Lambeau Field. What do you think about this matchup? And do you think Matt LaFleur should be fired?
I'm not going to say fired because, I mean, you guys do have a winning record. But they're going to have to tighten up. Coaching, they're going to have to figure some things out because as a good a team as you guys have, you shouldn't be losing games to teams that you're supposed to be spanking.
Right.
Should be losing to the Cleveland Browns and the Carolina Panthers and
Who's
tying
next?
with the
Eastern
Dallas
High
Cowboys.
School? Yeah.
Right. So, you know, it's one of those things to where you guys are probably going to play tough because guess what? Philly they're not scrubs, and you guys play well against decent teams. You don't play well against bad teams, which is something from a coaching standpoint they have to figure out. How can we get up for world beaters, but we can't get up for teams we're supposed to stomp out? So I think you guys will get up for Philly. It's going to be a dogfight. You know, Philly, they know how to win. They know how to win ugly. Hurts could have 150 yards and they could win the game. You know, it's one of those type of games. So I'm really going to be looking at Matt LaFleur and Green Bay. And you guys, I believe, are at home again. And you just lost at home to the Carolina Panthers. This is a way to get that taste out of your mouths as another home game and take care of the defending NFL Super Bowl champions in the Philadelphia Eagles, which will be a great win, and you'll forget about the Carolina game if you can win this game.
Well, that's not going to happen, but I hope we can figure out how to win this game because there are a lot of people in Green Bay that are actually starting to question Matt LaFleur and his play calling. I think, and I'll say this, I'm going to flip it over to you, Too Tall, because I'd love to hear your response on this matchup. But I was just speaking about bum quarterbacks being revealed under pressure. Well, guess what? Jordan Love's one of those dudes. Like when he's a sunshine soldier, you know, when skies are blue and it's sunny outside, he at the beach. I mean, Jordan's going to do his thing, you know. But when it gets a little murky and dark and stormy, can't find him. And he's got a lot to prove. Things got murky against the Panthers, and every time they got down in the red, you know, we were 1 for 5 in the red zone. technically we should have spanked Carolina. We and we end up losing the game because we couldn't cash it in. Anyway, I'm ranting. I'm a Packer fan. I'm sorry. Too tall. I give you the floor.
Great.
Well, I hope Packers could come up with something to win this game. I'm getting tired of the Eagles. Of course, me being a Washington fan. So, in saying that, I don't think it's going to happen. For some reason, the Eagles just find a way to win.
They do. They
just find a way to win. I mean, they got so many weapons on that offense. They just find a way to win. Now, in saying that, can you get Jalen to turn the ball over? Yes, you can. Can you get him to make mistakes? Yes, you can. I mean, the thing is, the number one thing is to stop Barkley. That's the number one thing. I think the best way for the Packers to win this game is to put it in Hurts' hands. Slow down Barkley. Let Hurts throw the ball. See if you can put some pressure on him, get some sacks, make him throw it early, get some early picks. That's the number one way to beat the Eagles. Get Barkley out of the game and allow Hurts to throw. Now, if Hurts just have a game and he beat you, okay. He did. But that's the best way to beat the Eagles, in my opinion.
Well, I'm going to say this, and Jerry Jones said it before they pulled the trigger on the trade. He said Micah has a problem with the run. And I think if you look at what Rico Dowdle did because the Panthers had a really great game plan. They just kept possession of the ball for most of the game. They ran it down Green Bay's throat. They got down there in the red zone and they cashed in with a field goal, or they got a TD. I think they got a couple of touchdowns, a field goal, won the ball game. They didn't do anything great. Carolina did not do anything great in that game, but Rico Dowdle ran down their throat. And what do you think Saquon Barkley's going to do? You know, if the Eagles were paying attention to that game, and they were, because they're a championship club, they're going to run Saquon Barkley right down their throat. And they're going to go right at Micah. Because the only thing Micah Parsons does is rush the quarterback. But he can't stop the run. And so I'm as much as I hate to say this, I'm going to have to agree with you, Aaron. The Eagles are a championship caliber team. The Packers have a lot of problems. And one of them is stopping the run. And I think I think Barkley's going to have a field day on him. Make run for 200 yards. You know, and so it just is what it is. The question at the end of the day for me as a Packer fan, I need to see Jordan Love play well when the pressure is on. I've yet to see him do it. Everybody, he's the next Brett Favre. He's the next Aaron Rodgers. I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a decent quarterback to good. But all this stuff about being legendary, no, let's stop that stuff. He hasn't proven anything yet. And he's going to have to prove it if this team is going to get to the next level. Before we get out of here, I want to look at real quick the Power 5 in the NFC. I've got the Eagles at number 1. To your point, they just know how to win, Aaron. And I got the Seahawks following them, the 49ers, Rams, all from the NFC West, and the Detroit Lions. Stu, your thoughts on this list?
Yeah, just change the 49ers and the Seahawks, and then we good. Because, you know, Seahawks ain't beat us yet. We pulling out the broom for them, too. Now, I mean, that's pretty fair record-wise. Eagles, Seahawks, 49ers, Rams, Lions. That's a pretty fair list. I don't really have too much. Like I said, my personal list, I would switch the Seahawks around because we ain't beat the 49ers yet. So, you know, that's the only thing I would say with that. But other than that, I think you got a pretty squared away list there. But you know what? I might I might take Detroit off. You know, now I think about it, I may put the Bucks up there. You know,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but other than that, I think the Bucks deserve to be on the top 5 list. The way Baker Mayfield and that ball club has been playing, and I would take Detroit off because Detroit they kind of fell off a little bit. They got to bounce back and get back on the wagon.
Aaron Too Tall Moore, your thoughts on this NFC Power 5 list? No, the Commanders are not there. I'm sorry, but go ahead, Aaron Too Tall.
I would say for the NFC, I can't really take nobody off. Got the Seahawks in there. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine right there. I can't see who you would take off and who you would add for that power ranking right now.
I think the Bucks is arguable that you could put them up there. I think the Seahawks.
I still wouldn't put the Bucks in.
It's something about the Bucks to me that I don't know. I could go either way. I actually had the Bucks up there initially, and I took them off. I just thought Detroit, beating them head up was worth something. And the Lions, they just had these games where you just kind of go, you're beating yourself. The Seahawks have played cleaner than the 49ers, even though the 49ers have beaten them straight up. So you can make an argument to flip the 49ers and Seahawks. But it's just one of those weird years in the NFL where you just can't really find a team to hang your hat on. But I think it's fair to throw the Bucs name out there and also to kind of switch the Seahawks and 49ers around. Let's look at the AFC. I got the Broncos at number 1 in the AFC, followed by Buffalo, Kansas City, New England, and the Indianapolis Colts. Stu, your thoughts?
I'm not mad at that. Definitely, Broncos, Bills, Chiefs, Patriots. I always, for some reason, we like to put the Chiefs number 1, but the truth is, if the postseason started today, the Chiefs would not be in the postseason. So I'm okay with where they are. The Broncos, that defense has been keeping them in games, and they've been doing enough. And then the Patriots. So I'm not mad at that list. I think as the season progresses, we're gonna get some changes up on that list, so we'll really see what these teams are made of. But
okay, we're gonna let Stu take care of his social media there. Aaron, what do you think about this list, brother?
Yeah. Something popped up that wasn't supposed to pop up. AFC, Broncos, Bills, Chiefs, Patriots, and Colts. I think I got to put the Steelers in there.
Okay, and you would take who out?
The Colts.
Okay.
They beat them.
I mean, they did, but the game was pretty much handed over. I mean, Daniel Jones, it was a horrendous game. I can't get past, what Danny Dimes did, or should I say Danny Nichols did in this one.
I mean, I understand what they've been doing this whole season, but I think the Steelers are right there, even though the Steelers defense, is messed up. But I mean, I think I personally would take the Colts out and put Steelers in.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So I got my top 10 list with the Eagles at number 1 in the entire league, followed by Seattle, then Denver at 3, and Buffalo follow with the Colts at 5, 49ers at 6, Rams, Chiefs, Patriots, Lions rounding out the top 10.
Now, NFL top 10, yes. I do agree with that. I still don't. Now, if we ranking them in order, I don't think the Seahawks or Broncos want to see the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
That's just the eye candy test. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, I like what you have right there. I have no discrepancies.
I'm going to tell you that I don't trust Buffalo. They've had some head scratchers this year, particularly the Falcon game about 4 weeks ago. I'm like, no, you didn't just lose to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And then they struggled with the Saints for a good minute before they won that ball game. Buffalo doesn't play clean. They've got every reason to say, hey, we got our eyes on the Super Bowl, but they just don't play clean. I don't trust them. They can have a clunker out of nowhere, and so I very good, and they could win the whole thing. But I look at all these teams on the top 10 list, and I'm not sold really on any of them as being that team. I mean, the Eagles have played the Eagles' biggest problem to me is the AJ Brown situation.
Yeah.
I think there's some discord in that locker room rising up again, like it did 3 years ago when their season was basically derailed because of whatever was going on in the locker room. And nobody wants to say it out loud, but it was between Jalen and AJ. And split team down the middle.
Did you hear what Sean King said?
No.
Sean King said he told receivers, if you want to win a Super Bowl ring, go to Eagles, go to Philly.
Okay.
If you want to get stats, don't go to Philly.
Yeah, if you want to go to stats, I mean, my gosh, go to Cleveland.
Because what he's saying was Jalen Hurts is not a type of quarterback that can sit back and throw the ball around the field every single game. He's just not that guy. So it's gonna be some games when you out there, you just doing cardio. You just blocking.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some games like AJ Brown. AJ Brown, some games he had over 100 yards. And it's gonna be some games where he has 2 catches for 25 yards. That's just the way it's gonna be. And I just think he's not gonna be they're gonna have to move on from him because he's not gonna be satisfied.
Yeah, they're gonna have to move. I think, listen, let me tell you something. AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't get that situation fixed, I think it could end up derailing their season like it did 3 years ago. Because AJ Brown just wants, some shine. It's like, dude, you've got a ring. What's the problem here?
I think.
Go ahead, Aaron.
I'm gonna say I understand. I could understand where he's coming from. Like, if you're out there on the island, this guy cannot check you. You know that for a fact. And you're open. So you in your mind, you just say, okay, I'm just out here doing cardio. And you don't feel a part of the team. Even though you're winning, you don't feel you're a part of the winning. It's like, okay, we're winning, but what did I do? I don't feel a part of the winning. And I'm just out here every week running track routes.
And yeah, but Aaron, and Stu, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. I actually think there's it's more than that, because I think Jalen can get him the ball. I think they have a personality conflict, and I think the two are beefing with each other, whether it be quietly or openly in the locker room. Nobody's going to come out and say it, but those two have a problem. And I don't know what it is, but something's going on with those two.
But AJ wants the ball like Chase gets the ball in Cincinnati. He wants the ball like that.
But he's not Joe Burrow.
That's what Hurts is not Joe Burrow. Exactly.
No, he's not Joe Burrow.
And that's the whole point. and he wants that, but he's not going to get that in Philly because Hurts is not Joe Burrow, and he can't do it.
And I think that's a coaching thing too, to where when you are the focal point of a scheme, to where it's like, look, he's your number one read, he's your number one read, he's your number one read. You're going to get those touches, and I don't know if he's that much of a focal point. I know that they know what they have in him, and a lot of those plays that he's made big plays, he wasn't the focal point or the first read. He's scrambling and he just throw it 40, 50 yards down the field and he makes a play on the ball. But from a coaching standpoint, as an offensive coordinator, you got to make your guys the focal point, and then you work around that to when teams are like, you remember Belichick, how he used to do. He would take away your best player and you would have to beat him another way. If teams are doing that, then you play the way you're playing now. But if they're not doing that, if they're not doubling him the whole game and taking him out of the game, you got to feed your dogs. You got to get your stars involved. You don't want to have them lulled to sleep or feel like they're not a part of the game plan. I think if he's a part of the game plan, then he's like, I'm good because I know you were thinking of me when you created this game plan. But if he's just like a piece on the board and not really like a focal point of your star player, and I think that's more of the issue that we're seeing unfold before us.
So that's the issue to me in Philadelphia. I think there's a disconnect with A.J. Brown and Jalen. Maybe it's even with Nick Sirianni and their offensive, philosophy. But it's starting to show its head. It's like you're looking at Philly and you're like, something's not right here. Do I still think they're going to win it all? Or can they? Yes, they absolutely can win the whole thing.
Here's the thing. They don't have to like each other off the field. They don't. A lot of personality, they don't have to like each other off the field. But what they cannot do is allow that to interrupt on the field.
They can't. They can't allow that to happen. What you got to do.
Once that happens.
Think about Saquon Barkley last year. He sacrificed setting an NFL record for a Super Bowl.
I think that was the dumbest decision. Now,
well, he won it all. He got a ring. That's what we play for.
Ring, but you got.
What did Herm Edwards say in New York? We play to win the game. So that's it.
They was going to win anyway. I mean, you're doing something that has never been done before. Or I ain't going to say never been done. I'm sure it was at 2,000 yards or something like that he was trying to get. It was something.
Yeah, it was going to be the all-time rushing mark in the NFL history.
And guy said this on First Take, not First Take, but Get Up. All-time rushing record. Seasons like this don't come up every time, every year. You have a chance to get the all-time, and it's not just about Saquon Barkley. It's about the offensive line too. So you got an offensive line saying, Aaron, I blocked for the all-time, and I got a ring in the same year.
But you know what his grandkids are gonna say? His grandkids, you know what they're gonna say?
What?
Well, you Super Bowl ring, Daddy. Anyway, let me just say that.
Here's the thing.
No. It's about winning a championship. That's
no. If you got a chance to break an all-time record, take the chance.
I got to do it, man. I got to.
Yeah, but the kid's gonna say, Dad,
he's not playing, and he done for the game. His name is still there.
You know who that sounds like? That sounds like Terrell Owens. I love me some me. Anyway, go ahead, Stu.
I was going to say that I agree with it only for the simple fact that if they didn't win the Super Bowl, then it's like, dog, I gave up the record. Because now the only freaky thing that can happen is, God forbid, he stayed in and got hurt. Then that catch-22 is like, hey, you being selfish and now you hurt and now you're not there when we need you. It's one of those things where it's a gamble either way. And if I'm him, I'm like, look, bro, hey, y'all got to try to get me this, man. This ain't no normal. Like when you think about the Emmitt Smith and you think about these guys, like these gold jacket guys, like this is one of those things. It's so hard to do. to project 2,000 or 2,000 plus yards. But I do get the other side, and I think that, hey man, as long as he can live with it, you got your ring.
That's the key.
You didn't get the record. You may not ever get the record, but hey, you got your ring. So as long as he can live with it, it's okay. But it's one of those. I know if it was me, I'm like, hey, dog. It's one thing if it's something crazy like, bro, you're gonna have to rush for 300 yards this game. I'm like, man, forget that.
Yeah,
but it's like, bro, you got like 30 more yards to go. I'm like, hey, give me that, dog.
Yeah. I'll put it to you from a biblical standpoint and look at it the way Jesus would have looked at it. And it's called humility. And if you can sacrifice your personal desires for the team concept, the total goal, then it's all worth it, and you get the prize.
But that's not.
You do get the prize at the end of the day.
But
you got to sacrifice if you want to win. You got to sacrifice your personal goals.
Humility
desires.
Humility is just for yourself.
Okay,
it's not just about Barkley. It's about his O-line. It's about his coach. It's about.
I get that is kind of dope. Yeah.
It's about just saying, if I'm a tight end, because I help block, right? I help block. If I'm a tight end, I'm gonna say I blocked for one of the best running backs ever, Saquon Barkley. He got 2,000 yards. I can't. That's something I could say, but now you can't say that because he didn't do it. So it's not just about him. That's not about humility. That's just saying, you know what? If he had a different mindset, you know what? I'm gonna go out there, and you know what? I'm really not gonna do it for myself. I'm gonna do it for these horses up front. Matter of fact, I'm gonna ask the horses, what do y'all want? Do y'all want me to get this record? They're gonna say, yeah, we want you to get the record. We've been blocking for you all year.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm gonna say.
That's what you were gonna say. I'm telling you what Jesus said. Anyway, what up, Aaron? Talk to me, bro. What's up?
Gave you the ability. Go get the record. That's what he said.
Hey, I tell you this. This week, they did the same thing for McCaffrey.
Hey, said I gave you the gift. Go get the record.
Yeah,
get that record, dog.
Yeah, but you know it's all good. If you look at it from AJ Brown's perspective and the Eagles, it's like they have a problem, and it could come back to bite them because at the end of the day, you want to win the whole thing, and they've already done it. So why not keep doing it? I mean, I think they have the ability to win a couple more. To be totally honest with you, after that gift the Giants gave them and Saquon Barkley, they have the ability to win 2-3 more because he's a young dude. He's got 2-3 strong years left. The whole team is strong and intact and young enough to win 2 or 3 more. So anyway, that being said, I just wonder if that's going to be a problem, the A.J. Brown situation. Again, I could go back to what happened 3 years ago, and their whole season was derailed because of what was going on in that locker room. And it went away when Saquon got there, and guess what? It's starting to raise its ugly head again. And every time I look around, A.J. Brown is said something salty about Jalen or the offensive philosophy or whatever. And I'm like, dude, y'all are winning. You're winning. And to me, that's what it's all about, winning championships. So that's just kind of my spin on it. I think that the Eagles are going to be in a dogfight in Green Bay. I'm giving them the win, though, because I think they Barkley's just going to run it right down their throat. And the Packers, on the other hand, are going to be left doing some soul searching. And that's going to be, again, Monday night, 8:15 ESPN. And we're going to try to be humble like Jesus and win it all. Right, Aaron? We're going to try to do what the Lord said. Right, Aaron? Anyway. Okay. All right, man. We're going to get out of here, man. Great show. We'll come back next week. Want to give a shout out to kchftv.org for allowing us to be on their TV station every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Mountain in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and also MAGNOS Dentistry out of Belo Horizonte. I'm working on my Portuguese, out of Brazil, who are sponsoring the Maurice Brown Show. Big shout out and thanks to them. So in the meantime, everybody stay safe. Enjoy the games this week. We got like 5 great matchups this Sunday. And just pick one. It's going to be a great weekend of football. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, may the peace of Jesus Christ be with you and your families. And everybody